How's it going, everybody? The Seer here, and the King in Black is upon us. We are finally able to see what this Knull kit is going to be for the playable character side, and I'm very excited for this. I haven't really seen anything on this. I did a quick skim through to make sure everything's correct before I actually started filming this. This is going to be raw footage of my take on this. Now, something I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is I think a lot of people forgot about this portion of the blog post for the boss in Black. So unlocking Knull. Knull character shards are available in Battle World rewards, so make sure you play each week with your alliance to maximize the shards you obtain. You can look forward to even more Knull shards in 2025. So I know there's a lot of confusion about how we're going to be unlocking Knull. People are saying it's going to be about 6 months. That's not going to be the case. Once it hits 2025, it looks like they're going to open the floodgate a little bit to allow more Knull shards into the game. So don't be thinking, well, I'm not going to get this character for 6 months or a year down the road. That's not the case. They're going to be opening the floodgates in 2025 is what I'm getting from this interpretation of the blog. But you're not here for this portion. Let's go back to this blog and read this together because I'm really excited about this. Knull is an amazing comic book character, and his kit, even if it's going to be remotely like 5% or 10% of what we got in the battle world, this guy's going to be insane. So let's go ahead and read this together. The fight for Battle World has just begun, and so too has the journey to unlock a terrifying ally in Knull. We introduced you to the man behind the toothy grin in a recent blog, and today we're pulling back the dark curtains on his abilities to show you the chaos you'll sow when you unlock the King in Black. For Knull's power. Knull is a powerhouse who threatens his enemies with a multitude of techniques that skewer enemies' teams with his multi-pronged kit. Immune to trauma, stun, and slow, Knull's speed bar is untouchable, allowing him to set the pace. That's crazy already. His passive stops enemies like Apocalypse and Mephisto from becoming empowered. That is insane. Instantly gaining the upper hand. I kind of find it funny they didn't mention like Gamora. Apparently she's not worthy anymore. Knull's dominance extends with his darkness mechanic. Each ability applies darkness, which stacks indefinitely and can't be resisted. Darkness forces an enemy to attack an ally on their turn, and the damage done by that attack increases with each darkness on that enemy. Darkness also reduces the afflicted damage and resistance, preventing speed up and allowing Knull to heal on his turn, which increases per enemy with darkness. That's pretty insane already. We're not even like looking at the full kit together. The battle only gets darker for Knull's foes. His ultimate ability applies the battlefield effect, enveloping darkness. When active on enemy turn, they gain +1 darkness, get the immunity flip, and gain +1 slow. So we're going to be having a battlefield effect. So that sounds like it should be on the enemy side and not the hero side. And for his finishing touch, Knull unleashes a symbiote to do his bidding. Yes, please. The first time used here in a match, Knull's special summons Carnage Enraged. That is amazing. Who's a much stronger than a typical summon and immediately gains Safeguard for 2 turns and defense up for 2 turns. This Enraged Carnage has a modified version of Carnage's kit, which does increased damage and also applies trauma. I wonder if they're going to be using the skin for the maximum Carnage, where he looks like zombified or kind of undead type. That'd be pretty cool if they use that, have the swirl on the forehead. All hail the King of Black. Indeed. Knull is going to be a villain, cosmic, mystic, controller, and a symbiote tag. A speed of 127. Basic is Void Slash. Apply +1 darkness to the primary target. Attack the primary and adjacent targets for 270% piercing and apply slow. Mind control a random enemy with darkness to attack the most injured enemy. Controlled characters gain +20% damage per darkness on that character for this attack, up to a maximum of 200%. So that's basically 10 stacks of darkness would get it towards the 200%. When forced to attack an ally, this character does not apply darkness to that ally. This attack cannot be dodged or blocked, but it is unavoidable, so it doesn't have the unavoidable tag on there. So for the ISO attack assist, apply +1 darkness to the target. When forced to attack an ally, this character does not apply darkness to the ally. It does 205% piercing and apply slow. I can definitely see Striker being good on this, so you can really rack up the darkness out there. For this special, Symbiote Cyclone. It's going to be a 5/5 energy cost, so it's possible to be done on turn 1 if you want. If this character does not have trauma, transfer all negative effects from each ally to self, then flip all negative effects on self. Copy 3 random positive effects excluding stealth and taunt from self to each ally. Heal self for 15% of this character's max health. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 350% piercing and apply +1 darkness. The first time this ability is used in a match, summon the Carnage Enraged ally. The summoned Carnage Enraged ally gains Safeguard for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns. This is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So that's a pretty powerful special and on a 5/5, so that's pretty good. For the ultimate, Oblivion Calls. Yes, such cool names. So 6/6, this could be done turn 1. Attack all enemies for 320% piercing, so everything's piercing, that's really cool. Apply slow for 2 turns, trauma for 2 turns, and +1 darkness to each target. If this character does not have an exhaust, clear all battlefield effects on the enemy side and apply battlefield effect enveloping darkness to the enemy side. So this tells me that he's not going to be a defensive character in war or possibly even Cosmic Crucible because of the whole exhaust mechanic. We need to see if there's a tag in here for him to clear those exhausts. This attack is unavoidable, cannot be counterattacked. Enveloping darkness. On enemy turn, apply +1 darkness to that enemy. Flip immunity on the enemy. On enemy turn end, apply +1 slow up to a maximum of 3 to the enemy. This battlefield effect lasts until cleared or until the end of the match. Passive for the King in Black. Alright, so characters killed by Knull cannot be revived. That's kind of a given based on the battle world and everything. On spawn, gain defense up for 2 turns and apply +1 darkness to the enemy with the highest damage. On turn, heal self for 5% of this character's max health per enemy with darkness. If this character's health is full, instead bury yourself for 5% of this character's max health per enemy with darkness. He's going to have a 50% chance, assist chance, plus 15% assist chance per villain ally, up to an additional 15% chance per symbiote ally as well. So you can definitely get up to that 100%. Looks like you want to run some villains. The only other symbiote ally I could see being ran with him would be like Gore. So you maybe can run him with the Annihilators. That'd be a pretty nasty combination. Gain plus 10% speed per symbiote ally. So yeah, throw Gore with him. That would get an additional 10% speed. Symbiote allies gain 15% speed and piercing. And piercing, that's interesting. So it turns the attacks to piercing. This character cannot gain trauma, slow, stun, or slow. This character's speed bar cannot be reduced. Enemies cannot become empowered. Now with the darkness tag. On enemy turn, if that enemy has darkness, mind control the enemy to attack the most injured. This attack gains plus 20% damage for each darkness on that enemy, up to a maximum of 200% damage. So again, D10 stacks would get there. Enemies with darkness cannot gain speed up. Gain plus 10% drain and 10% speed for each enemy with darkness, up to a maximum of 50%. So 5 stacks will get you there. And all symbiote allies. Gore is going to be nasty. So yeah, I'm really thinking Annihilators with the Knull is going to be very deadly. Lower damage reduction, damage and resistance by 25% for all enemies with darkness. This effect cannot be resisted, so no focus resist checks needed for this type of thing. Now, Carnage Enraged. Villain, City, Bio, Brawler, Spider-Verse, Symbiote. He's going to have a speed of 126. Basic is Cleave. Attack the primary target for 280% damage. If the primary target has a negative effect, chain to 1 to 2 adjacent for 240% damage. Spread 2 negative effects from the primary to the secondary. This will not spread stun. Counterattack will break this chain. The ISO's counter assist is just the damage and piercing. Special is slaughter, so he's going to do this turn 2. Attack primary target for 420% damage and plus 100% additional damage per negative effect. Clear all negative effects from the primary target. Attack all adjacent for 250% damage. So clearing all negative effect, that's how it currently is, unless it's an array, then it doesn't clear it. So high damage. Yes, that looks very similar to the original kit that we have for Carnage. Ultimate is a absolute Carnage, 6/6. If the primary target is above 50% health, apply trauma for 2 turns, disrupt for 2 turns, and bleed for 2 turns. If the primary target is below 50% health, apply offense down for 2 turns, defense down for 2 turns, and slow for 2 turns. Gain offense up for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns, and speed up for 2 turns. Attack primary target for 500% piercing. Apply an additional 2 bleed for 2 turns. This cannot be dodged. And is passive. When an enemy drops below 25% health, fill speed bar by 30% for self and a random Knull ally. So it's just him and Knull getting sped up. And heal for 10% of this character's max health. On kill, apply vulnerable to the enemy with the lowest resistance that does not have a vulnerable. That's the interesting thing to include in the passive. Whenever an enemy has taunt, gain plus 50% crit damage. This is really cool. I'm really excited for this kit. And like I said, don't be worried that it's going to take about 6 months to a year to unlock Knull. I know right now at difficulty 5, it looks like we're getting that 10 Knull shards. Based on this, you can look forward to even more Knull shards in 2025. So based on this, once the new year hits, it looks like they have plans to give us additional Knull shards. So it's going to be sooner rather than later. So I do want to kind of give you a heads up about that again. But let me know what you guys think about this kit. Is this worthy of being our first Battle World boss playable character? I think it is. I'm really excited for this kit and this character. But let me know in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.